So next up, we're going to be maybe finishing the worst tabletop RPGs by KamSandwich. We just got to Fatal. And it was really painful. It's basically the game for degenerates by degenerates who could not actually write a game that could functionally work because there's no monsters in there. You were the monster all along. And that's not a joke. You were very much the monster. You are not playing a person. You were playing the abject horror that must be destroyed. Now, I will admit I had a misconception in the last video where I said 3.5 hours to make a character was kind of crazy fast for this game, and people complain how long it took. No, it would take 3.5 hours to roll all the dice alone to make the character. Just the dice. No. Unless the game is a character building game, kind of like a card deck building game, you don't do that shit, man. That is evil. Oh, God. Yeah. So we're going to move in and see where this goes and find out what the 2 worst games are. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be rough. I'm aware. Ooh. Also, Pilo, 1. Thank you very much, man. 2. Yeah, the last of the Trinity. Also, fun fact, since you missed the last one, Mend Butt Crack is an actual spell in Fatal. I'm not surprised. I'm not even surprised. I'm not even surprised. I'm not even disappointed because it's living to exactly the level I expected. I'm more surprised that the spell isn't add extra, because that's exactly what I expect out of that level of admittedly degeneracy. Although I've heard some people, if they cut out the really horrible shit from the random punishments table, would like it. Let's ignore that. I don't want to think about this more than I have to. Let's move on to the maybe things I should ignore in favor of Fatal option. Oh, yeah, I forgot. The next 2 are going to be worse. Why am I hurting myself by putting it off? I just want to get in there and get it done. Let's see how bad this gets.
I think that Fatal might be the best of the 3.
Why did I start at this point?
Let's move on to
it's not making it better.
Title then and see just how bad we can really get. Catered for your displeasure, it is one of the single most mentioned names when I ask for the worst of the worst.
So help me God, if there's a 50 Shades of Grey role-playing game, it's a bit too on the nose at that point, actually, but still.
Ladies and gentlemen, Racial Holy War.
Congratulations, everyone. We have found Twitter.
Hey Cam, you up for going out tonight? Aw, sorry I can't. I'm recording audio for another game I'm covering. Oh, what are you covering this time? Uno. People have been requesting that I cover Racial Holy War ever since I first covered Fatal. That is over a year and a half of hearing about it, and I've purposefully avoided looking into it at all until I thought that I was ready to take it on.
I'm just going to say this flat out. If you do anything with this game, based on the name alone, you know you're on a list. Unfortunately, it's not a watch list. It's probably the, hey, he's into this kind of shit list. Because you're going to get contacted by all of the people who are going to be the ones asking, unironically, if you want to play Fatal without telling you what it is.
With a name like this and a reputation like that, you know there is going to be some real heinous stuff in here. So let's take a glance at what this thing has going on under the hood for a quick preview.
Yeah, that's about the extent of what I expected. I'm exactly getting what I thought of this already. Also, ooh, Captain 1, thank you very much, too. You'd rather have 50 Shades TTRPG over, oh god, RHW? You know what, I'm very much believing this is probably even better.
I think I might have bitten off a little too much here.
How bad are we talking?
So back to Fatal. Fatal has a ton of terrible things in it. Shocking content, this or that. Stuff that has no place in any kind of game. But Fatal was, at the end of the day, meant to establish some kind of setting or cause a shock value that would get people talking about it. To my knowledge, the creators don't actually believe in or engage in those activities in real life. They're just trying to sell a game.
Degeneracy sells, and there's a very dedicated audience. It's like the less publicly acceptable furry donator audience. Specifically, if you're an artist and you can't actually make money doing normal art, if you're half decent and you're willing to just give people what they want, there's a lot of people who will throw money at art for the furry community. And I'm not even talking the R34 stuff. I'm talking Very tame, even. People really get into that. I'm just pissed because I can't draw to save my life, and that would be awesome money. Like, seriously, I've heard some amounts, and it's like, I'm sorry, how many zeros were in that number? It is kind of insane.
That's what I thought that something with as absurd a title as Racial Holy War would be.
Essentially, especially since its box art is just stolen. Wait, The Hills Have Eyes? Wes Craven's The Hills... No way. They didn't actually just steal it, did they? Holy shit. Huh. I'm going to pull this over so you guys can see it too. Yeah, it's just The Hills Have Eyes. But they changed it. It's a different one than he has. No, it's literally the same thing. Oh, so this is way more dumb than even I realized.
A shock value game meant to get people talking about it to sell copies.
No, this is very much the... There's people on the internet who have a very distinct philosophy about this kind of thing. They are dumbasses. This is probably one of those, hey, if we make a game about it, maybe they'll start agreeing with us. It's those people. I hate this already.
That idea was incorrect. This game, which will herein be referred to as This Game, was created by a real supremacist group to
Called it! Dumbasses!
Convey their real thoughts and feelings on the page.
Also, this is not a one-time thing. You actually find this level of bullshit in many things. It's why there's certain people who go around doing like edgy humor. But then the edgy humor is like, yeah, and then they kind of just focus on well, you're laughing at this joke, but you also laugh at this one. And then you also laugh at this one. And they're just pushing it a little further, until you're laughing at the same things they laugh at. And then yeah, we agree on this because you're laughing. So, hey, why don't we start agreeing that these people need to die? It's that level of slowly moving your acceptable window. And they're thinking this game is going to do it. I'm going to be honest with him. I think maybe I was too harsh on Fatal. I did not think I would unironically say that. Ironically, sure, I thought I'd say that. Unironically, yeah.
Which is very evident by the way they describe everything. For instance, when Fatal hits you with the racial stereotype armor, it dances around the meat of the language, just giving you enough to maybe catch on to which group they're referring to. Here, they just straight up drop the old Laura Schlesinger not 11 times, but 39.
I have absolutely no idea who that is. The reference completely goes over my head. And Martin, you mentioned Fatal has parts that create admitted to writing one-handed. Yeah, that sounds exactly like the audience would do it for it. So we literally went for the Gooner game to the Pointy Hat gang. Sorry, game. Such an easy comparison there. Is that a Freudian slip or a Freudian accuracy?
So in lieu of spreading actual propaganda on Maine, I am only going to be talking about two things from this game. What they aimed to do, and what they actually did.
Hopefully they failed so hard that they did more to hurt themselves. And Martin, Fatal doesn't deserve mercy. I completely agree with you. This isn't mercy. It's looking better by comparison. It's not that Fatal's good. It's horrible. Taking 3.5 hours to roll the dice alone to create a character sounds like punishment. Granted, anyone who's into this is probably into the kind of masochism that would require that. But this isn't the worst one. Okay, I did not think this through.
Because believe it or not, with unlimited creative control and a system they built themselves, they biffed their own intended design and message to a comical degree. Here's what is supposed to happen in this game. You play as a member of the White Warriors attempting to save the world from the steep population increase of other groups. You can do this in a variety of ways, mostly through violence or recruiting other warriors to your side. So the warriors here are supposed to be facing an uphill battle, but with their apparent inherent superiority, their victory is all but guaranteed.
I do appreciate that they're just doing a children's slide in the most dumb way possible.
Their words, not mine. Except, small problem with that, the warriors are actually practically useless in any and all situations.
Oh, so they unironically accidentally reflected how useful these people are in real life. I'm glad there's some truth in advertising.
See, when you toss out your very first game as more of a statement and less of a game, you can end up missing a couple key details that make a big impact.
How accurate do I want to go right now? I don't know. Let's just put it this way. If missing details was a defining trait of the people who would go with this, they're really guilty of it. It's like if brain damage was a requirement to make this game, they are definitely an example of what that looks like.
And if you couldn't tell by now, we are in fact dealing with a group that could very easily miss out on a few key details. For instance, firearms are a major tool that you would expect to use on your adventures. And based on your stats and choice of weapon, you can get a number of accuracy modifiers to add to your hit chance. Fortunately for everyone else, there is an issue with this, as nowhere in the document does it tell you what your base accuracy number is. You straight up don't have one. This means that your entire accuracy value will be based around the modifiers, which means that at no point in this game will any of your shots have more than a 25% chance to hit.
Oh, so it's basically like playing XCOM. Nah, that's not fair. XCOM is probably harder to hit.
Regardless of your level.
Starts out at 5.
Your warrior is basically spending the entire game shooting with their eyes closed.
Huh. Wow. Can you imagine if there was stormtrooper aim jokes right now? Would that be a little too on the nose in multiple different ways? No, it's completely justified because these people deserve it.
I really don't like their odds. But again, fortunately
I like
for
their odds. They're horrible. That's even better.
It's even worse for them. In order to really hammer home,
I'm going to be completely honest. The fact that this is so broken actually makes me feel better as a human. It's like when you see the worst person you know facing immediate karma. It's just like, oh, there is justice in the world. It's just nice.
Their message, the creators gave all of their
Also, I should probably apologize to stormtroopers. I'm being told that they had better accuracy. Also, ironically, I have seen that people do shot-for-shot counts of the movies versus real-life accuracy ratings for modern armies, and stormtroopers are actually incredibly amazing unless it's a main character. It's like plot armor. Also, literally, the Force does that.
Similar powers, such as additional kung fu strikes or bribery, the whole -5 yards. Well, with this feature in place, you must be wondering what completely overpowered effect the warriors must have at their disposal.
I'm assuming it's inbreeding. It's inbreeding, isn't it?
And I will admit, I was taken aback when I saw it. They don't do anything. This
just like real life.
Game gives the players no special abilities in a game where one group can get up to 6 additional attacks in one turn. Ranged or hand-to-hand, the warriors are completely outmatched in all forms of combat. They are useless. Of course, that's only if your warriors ever actually get into a fight, which is very unlikely once again due to the game's own rules.
How bad is it?
A key part of the game is the intimidation level of your group, which can grant you certain bonuses or debuffs depending on how much more you have than your opponent.
Oh, God.
Well, the intimidation factor is very closely tied to how
every time they're fighting someone, they run away, don't they? Wow, it's just like real life.
many people you have in the party. More people equals more total stats. And if your total intimidation is 5 times higher than your opponent's, they are forced to run away out of fear. Now, the game specifically states that the warriors are a small group now in the minority, so you will be outnumbered in pretty much every battle, as is already the case in most RPG fights.
Yep.
So in every combat encounter, regardless of how armed to the teeth you are,
you run away.
Will at the minimum have your already low accuracy reduced further, or will straight up book it at every opportunity.
Just like real life. It's almost like a bunch of dumbasses who didn't understand why it's so ironic decided to go all in on it. Debauchery, this is sad, hilarious, and slanderous. Sadlarious? Yeah, sadlarious sounds actually completely accurate. I like that phrasing. I want to steal it. It just does warm the heart a bit, and I was not expecting that. And I see why he said Fatal is somehow the better one.
So,
it still
to
hurts to say.
recap, the undefeatable force that makes up the warriors cannot shoot the broadside of a barn, have no special traits that help them at all, and turn tail at even the slightest amount of confrontation.
Irony! Or Freudian slip. There's just someone out there going, so let me get this straight. You went to us because you thought we would publish this game. Were you trying to get people to agree with your ideology by showing how you are useless, incompetent, cowardly, and run away before you could even try something and fail inevitably while believing that your hype is awesome? Yeah, sure, we're okay. We're fine with this. Oh my God. I think this is actually published as an insult to the people who made the game.
Great job, guys. I'm sure the signups will be pouring in any day now. I cannot think.
I mean, there probably would be. That's the worst part. I honestly believe with everything I'm just laughing at, most people will be like, oh my God, you're fucking idiots. And then there's going to be a lot of people like, this looks like I agree with you. How do I write 911? I want to report that you have made my life nice. Also, have you met my sister cousin? I'm just throwing it out there because, yeah, it's probably happened more than 3 times this year when someone has said that.
Of a worse way that these people would have wanted to depict themselves. They look outright pathetic out there. If I didn't know any better, I would say that the product was making fun of these guys.
Nope.
But based
Nope. They are not self-aware. That's why they are part of this group to start with.
on the language and the fact that the leader of their entire organization pinned this, they really thought they had something here.
Because the dumbest people you know are the ones who believe they're right.
Yeah, a nice hot and ready steaming pile of trash. Dig in. They didn't even get screwed by having to adhere to a previous system. This is their own custom system.
Also, people are saying I should have taken it a little further and said sister, cousin, wife. Well, that's not fair. They wouldn't believe in organized religion because it would require organization. So they can't believe in it because that would be way too hard to think.
If you build something from scratch just to make yourself look good and you still look like failures, my God.
I mean, they got the right group for it. This is a self-selective choice on your part if you do this. You deserve it. Play this. Have fun. Realize that maybe real life shouldn't look exactly like the game for you.
You have got to reevaluate something. These people are straight up morons.
Yeah.
Arguably worse content than Fatal. Definitely worse construction than Fatal. Heck, it's not even as fun to make fun of as Fatal. Just an overall miserable product that I cannot.
Let me take a wild guess, though. The people... Why is there a DVD logo? Oh, because they stole it from the movie. This is made to someone in Iowa, isn't it? Or is it Idaho? It's either Iowa or Idaho that has the highest concentration of these people in the entire country of the United States. I'm not sure which one, and they're close enough where it could be either. Probably Idaho.
Wait to forget. Regardless of who you think is worse, though, these two...
We know which one is worse. We know which one is worse. We know which one is worse. And I can't believe I'm saying it. By comparison, Fatal looks better. And Fatal does not look good. It looks horrible. Terrible. And if someone wants to play that, it is a horrible sign about their character. And that is the better option, and not even by a little bit. And now we get to find out what comes next.
You have got the content side of the Unholy Trinity locked up nice and neat. Ain't nobody touching these two when it comes to their speciality.
Yeah.
But with that being said, what could the third member of the trio possibly have?
So one is horrible gooner, one is horrible asshole. I'm assuming the third one is just bad, like unplayable, and probably super pretentious. Yeah. Oh, and Tutor, you don't want me to never give Fatal credit? The maker is wood chipper fodder? Oh, yes. No, I completely agree. And I'm showing my bias here. I'm going to avoid both groups, but one I will just avoid, the other I will actively make fun of.
Have to justify its spot amongst these juggernauts of idiocy. Well, believe it or not, the third game is not actually in here due to any shocking content.
It's probably because they're just pretentious assholes like the other really horrible ones that might have been playable.
Of course, there are some controversial bits.
Oh, it's probably a scam, isn't it? It was probably something that was never actually made but got people to buy it.
That's to be expected, but those are not what earn the game, it's reputation. The reason that the third game is on here is instead due to it achieving a distinction that no other game on this list has even come close to reaching.
Did it start as an actually good game and they made sure to update it with it being worse and worse and worse?
Because our last game, it is totally incomprehensible. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Hybrid. Hybrid is the free 1996 RPG that was solo created by Matthew C++ and is best described as, quote, the insane ramblings of a madman.
Oh, is this one of those fake games or one of those Ulysses style games where you're throwing as many random things off the wall and see if people can understand it when there's actually no actual intent to be understood? Either that or this guy was just high.
Knowing what I know now, I think that lunatic would be a better descriptor.
How bad are we talking?
The game could be found on its own page of someone else's website who agreed to host it for Matthew.
They don't even have it?
The way to find it now is by using the Wayback Machine, which at this point I've become pretty dang good at using.
Also, if it's only on the Wayback Machine, that is not always a good choice because there's been multiple takedown requests from the Wayback Machine by people who don't like their stuff being known. A lot of companies. If this guy is trying to hide it, this might be removed as well. There are other styles of Wayback Machine. Wayback Machine is actually the specific company doing it. There are other ones that are way more anonymous. Mutahar or Some Average Gamers did a video recently about specific other options for backed up historical internet content. I would check that out because this one does get censored pretty frequently.
The fact that Hybrid is not only mentioned alongside titles like Fatal, but is considered worthy enough to stand alongside it in the Trinity caught my attention immediately.
Like, is it just a bad
was
game?
I seeing any mentions of heinous content, just that the game was really, really bad. This intrigued me greatly, as anything that can be placed in the same wheelhouse as these two for just being that bad is quite the prospect.
Yeah.
So I began my search for the game, and lo and behold, IA had the full website from 2002 ready for me.
For comparison contrast purposes of the pages of trademark. Oh, it's the various things. Yeah.
To ingest.
The disclaimers.
Now, expecting some truly unbelievable stuff here, I decided to do this one a little different and...
Did he actually just do the entire script for this by dictation? Or is he just that fast of a typist? Either way is cool.
Write the segment as I looked through the website instead of after.
Oh.
That way you could experience every event in the same order that I did for maximum brain melt, and I am very...
I will have you know, good sir, you are implying Santa Claus would use looks like an iMac. Truly, we all know Santa Claus would use a Linux. Thank you very much.
Glad that I did that, because if I tried to write this down after the fact, it might have driven me completely insane.
And the others didn't? You've been on the internet more than 5 minutes and they haven't already done that? Oh god.
I'd recommend strapping yourself in for this one, as Intro Cam here knows what's coming, and unfortunately for you and Website Cam, it's gonna be
How bad are we going?
Rough ride. Starting us off here, we've got the homepage. Looks very 2002, a couple links to different versions, but...
Oh yeah, it is actually 2002. I mean, when I designed websites and realized I have no knack at designing websites, this is about where I was at design-wise. So yeah, I get it.
Let's stay here for now. The following statement is the very first sentence on the Hybrid website. Disclaimer. Warning. Rule number 196 is X-rated, and that to calculate L, use X equals C2 divided by 10 to the second, which is for mature audience only at or above age of 20, but most 90% of this RPG is for all ages, though maybe not rule number 193, which is...
This is a joke, isn't it? This is actually a joke. This is someone who got into SCP-style content and is basically just bullshitting everyone.
Not meant to be read by kids, and rule number 187 explains homosexuality mathematically using modifier G at 11. Excuse me?
Either that or they're just, schizophrenic and writing down their delusion, but managed to channel it in some slightly useful way. That probably sounds more accurate.
This is my first introduction to the game? I just sat down! Who starts a conversation like that?
I said what I said, and if a lot of people who have schizophrenia don't realize they're having schizophrenia, this might sound completely logical.
Oh, by the way, do you see all of this blue underlined text everywhere?
They're not actually links?
Yeah, only the game versions at the top are hyperlinks. None of the other blue text that appears are...
Oh, that's just evil, man.
Hyperlinks. If you are wondering why the blue text, then I implore you to stop asking questions.
It does feel like this is a shit post. This legitimately feels like a fake game shit post.
They will destroy you. My thanks to the host for the free hosting of my free RPG, Hybrid. But 10% of this RPG is not suitable for children. This is a science fiction RPG. It's mostly fiction. Also, there is no intention to offend any race or gender. It's mostly fiction. And there is no intention to offend any race or and gender or and workings of science or and technology. Most of my RPG is science fiction.
This very much feels like someone's schizophrenic ramblings. Or a shitpost. It could be a shitpost. Which is also literally what Ulysses essentially was. Also, I'm not making a joke about that. James Joyce, when he wrote Ulysses, he was famously quoted, maybe paraphrased, because he was speaking in an Irish accent. And I mean, I'm American, so I speak English badly. As opposed to the English who don't speak. They don't have rights to speak. As an American, I make that joke. Am I right? As an American, I pretend I am. But all that aside, the quote from Joyce after he finished Ulysses was, that'll keep them busy for another couple decades. Or was it 100 years? Or another year? Essentially, it'll keep them busy. And them being referring to academics who overanalyzed anything they could possibly read. Ulysses is a shitpost that is meant to be as massively complicated and uncomprehensible. Not incomprehensible, uncomprehensible, because there's no comprehending it, because there's nothing to comprehend. It's just weird that you could overly read into by someone who normally knows people overly read into what he's doing. So because it's him doing it, they think there's some kind of master plan for it. So he creates an entirely crazy narrative that is just sane enough that you can overread it. Also, what I have just said has caused fights in various master's programs I was in. So actually not various, it was literally just the one, but it was a twice-time thing. It didn't count.
Again, this role-playing game is free, and I attempt to make monthly updates to keep it as accurate as possible, by which I mean to weed out typos and any errors in my equations, but 10% of this RPG is not suitable for children. If the whole thing is typed like this, I'm going to go insane.
I've read worse. Not knowingly when I got into it, but I have read worse.
Also, what do you mean by mostly fiction? Is it all fantasy stuff, but there's an accurate real-world potato growth chart in here?
They have that? Oh, that should be kind of cool.
And why did that come right after the race disclaimer? Again, this is the first thing that you see on the official website. At the current moment, this is literally all I know about the game.
We're just getting the shitpost of the century.
Next up, a long run-on sentence talking about referencing copyrighted characters.
Also, for anyone wondering, long run-on sentences is a characteristic of Ulysses as well, because Joyce went pages sometimes with a single incoherent thought that jumped around. He did that intentionally. He's also since been suppressed by books like Blades of Grass, which they're meant to break your mind. Some people love them. I could honestly see this as intentionally bad or schizophrenic. And I'm not entirely sure which way it's going yet. But I could see so far it could go either way.
backed up by,
because the writing style they're using is similar.
In reading my RPG Hybrid, which is unpopular due to it being mostly diceless, as there is only one rule regarding use of dice, that being to get 2 to 3 or greater for success at particular unit of magnitude for DP for character creation and for success of LS or and PL for conflict resolution. Setting, theme, vibe, my guy, I need something about your game other than the DP clause. It was at this point when I looked over at the scroll wheel and realized to my eternal horror that this page goes on for eons.
The disclaimer page is the entire thing. Points between GURPS and hero controlled by long of current and 20.1 CP, DP 5049. Teledes would be Yu-Gi-Oh! Sister Creed. Honestly, no. They're accurately referencing companies. I think this is literally a shitpost. This is literally just a shitpost.
It is a nearly endless collection of ramblings that might actually...
I just had the most evil idea and I need to try this now. Recently, someone just discovered that in a non-thinking mode of ChatGPT, if they asked for the seahorse emoji, it would break down, while the thinking mode literally scoured the entire internet, taking a significant amount of time to do this, because it could make non-internal searches to find out there is not a seahorse emoji yet. Ask it to understand and explain a summary of Hybrid. We will destroy Microsoft's budget by legitimately overtaxing the AI. Congratulations, everyone. The AI bubble has popped because Hybrid has saved the world due to the sheer insanity of it. Actually, considering how the power distribution goes, if maybe enough people did just search explain Hybrid and they did it at the same time, there is a literally significant chance this would actually cause financial loss for Microsoft. I'm not entirely sure ChatGPT is owned by Microsoft right now, but considering how it's one giant circle jerk of all the money moving around, you could say that about any of them right now, and it's probably eventually going to be accurate.
Kill me if I try to read through it all. So I decide to go back up to the top and check out the game itself before my brain melt flares back up. The link to version 0.2 is broken, so I instead try version 1.5. This link works and successfully takes me to the page for version 0.3. I'm about to cast Fatal. I'm sorry, everybody, but I'm taking you down with me.
I'm just going to be honest. I want to ask ChatGPT to explain this. I unironically want this. I don't know how to have them summarize websites, but I want this. I want to see it try.
There are only 50 pages of this RPG, so I might just be lucky enough to survive. Quote, required tool, a calculator with log10 function. Hint, for those who like to create Digimon-like monsters, use at rule number 111 and number 113. Hint, for those who like to create cyborgs like the $6 Million Man, look at rule number 114. Hint, for how to convert numeric notation for power into letter notation, look at rule number 55. I'm just glad it's there in case I need it. Seeing as we might finally be starting to...
Hint, oh god, he has all of it. Understand a character in the movie Ninja Scrolls, how to figure average psyche for DC Lobo and Marvel, how to figure lifespan of Empire and Vampire Hunter D, how to create an illusion of time travel by cloning equation, how to figure out the Caretaker episode of Voyager. Yeah, I'm absolutely certain this is a shitpost now. This is literally just a shitpost.
Talk about the game, I went back to the main page one more time to see if I missed out on any vital ramblings. And it turns out that, quote, the previous version 0.3 was...
Also, I'd like to point out, this is apparently not bringing this up right now. And hi carry you? Okay, to be fair, they're already operating at a loss without this, indicating that money is not being made on any of the chatbots. None of them are making money. All of them cost more to run than the people paying for it are providing. The sale of hardware, because people think it'll be profitable in the future, is what's making money. Except the people who are selling it right now are selling it at a discount for promises to buy it from them. So if you give me money, hey, buy $1,000 worth from me and I'll sell it to you in the future for half that price. Usually it's a lot less. But now I've made this profit. And you've made this profit. And we don't acknowledge the fact that we're actually making it on future sales we haven't actually made. If you see the problem with this, then you're everyone else except for Facebook, who is just buying the losses and being okay with it because they actually have the money and income to back it up. But OpenAI doesn't. Microsoft doesn't. mostly because Microsoft fucked up over a lot of other stuff. But yeah, this literally would kill some bottom lines significantly if enough people would just ask for a summary of the game Hybrid with a link to the website. I would love this, as long as it doesn't default to just reading someone else's summary out.
Really version 0.15 at 15% complete. So the actual RPG in its newest form is posted in its entirety on the main page. And it is not 50 pages, it is 145 pages. Joyous day. At this point...
Wait, if it's a single page, like if you could open it as a single page, like not just a page, not just 100+ page, but actually just one. Ooh. Also, people in the chat mentioned NVIDIA. Yeah, their business model is doing great, except their card sales are not focused on gamers or people who are paying for the card itself. They're focused on deals they've made to OpenAI, for example, or to Microsoft, where they're selling the GPUs, but also with guarantees that they then use the software from other places. It's very circular right now. There's a lot of circular money moving around without actually making money. It's bad. NVIDIA is not one of the better people on here. I think out of all of them, Facebook, even though they're failing at everything, is the most successfully minded right now because they have enough money to burn that it wouldn't actually kill them. Where everyone else, they're not in that position. Some of them are closer, but they're not. Hell, Apple might be in a bad space because they're heavily investing in it. And they're probably one of the other better ones.
I'm just trying to find the actual game, so let's keep moving. Example 1, negative energy calculations. Example 3, the greatest military equation for both military and non-military applications.
Rule number 7, shoot it.
Example 5, the Comet Empire. Example 6, the Iraqi nuclear war program. I almost quit right there. What is this? Is this why we needed the mostly fantasy disclaimer? Because the game doesn't function properly with...
I mean, it was fantasy, because when it came out, it was definitely not real back then. They just said it was.
Without the Iraqi nuclear war program? Quick side note. Look at example under movie reviews for movie Matrix to understand this RPG hybrid.
Yeah, this is definitely a shit post, and I'm honestly surprised in Super iPad Wolf's fake video game video, this did not come up. I mean, it's not a fake video game, it's just a fake game entirely, but it counts because it's close enough. Maybe an honorable mention.
My review of Hero RPG is not all
if you tried to actually run this, though.
Atlantis was accurate for the most part. This note continues on for 7 paragraphs until it reaches its own off-topic discussion segment about the state of Louisiana and alimony payments being a new form of slave labor, before it then goes right back to the previous off.
I'm sorry. It's so ridiculous. I actually like this. I would never play it. I would never buy a copy, also because you can't. It's a digital only. But unironically, this is like the best shitpost I've ever seen where it's so intense. It makes it loop around to good. Cosmic, do you think a sane mind could make this? Cosmic, you think I believe anyone is actually sane? You've met me for more than 5 seconds. I don't believe anyone is sane.
Topic note, which was cut off mid-sentence. In
an
effort to convey to you how brain-busting this next part is, I would like for you to guess what the next segment after this multi-page long solo dialogue about a completely unrelated RPG is. I'm
going to take a wild guess. It's probably a dice calculation for something that doesn't matter.
Not going to tell you the answer. I am just going to give you 5 seconds to guess and then scroll down to reveal it to you. A reminder that we have yet to see a single...
Wait. 76 for Telos would be 76C3DP in GURPS or 76 in Yu-Gi-Oh! Except the Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters are created would be PL by Psychic Kigs who are C3DP. Oh, God.
Effing thing about the
Nero's 3D debut start?
game.
Nice.
Good guess.
Does it have anything else?
Let's see what's up next.
Is it a dead page? Cake recipe. Okay, real talk. Is it a good recipe or is it a bad recipe? Because if they accidentally hyperlink into something real, I'm actually going to be surprised and a little disappointed.
It took me nearly 20 minutes to mentally recover from that. A complete brownie cake recipe based on the game with the bake time of 22 minutes. Wow, that's so cool. Hey, how long do I stick my head in the oven for? I have yet to see a single rule, and this page has caused me to almost quit twice. I am now legitimately scared to continue scrolling down since I can't rule out the next segment.
Wait. Hercules' mother falling for Jason, the other Xena, or it was her sidekick, one of them applying for matrimony, and when Xena was pregnant, it was some guy's kid, and it was never shown the father of Xena's child, was implied by Xena quickly later changing her mind about getting married, and she didn't like the idea of being a housewife and wanted to run around batting up guys, and not sure if that's a good role model for girls and women, but then again, neither is the E-Series and Nicole show, and which TV shows make her look like a softcore prostitute, but it's strange considering that he inherited becoming a super rich widow, tens of millions and more millions in front of dollar symbol, which makes you think that career twice, commit prostitution for money as career like secretarial work. I mean, he makes a valid argument. You get fucked over and you get paid for it. That's basically a description of work. Maybe this man speaks the truth. The prophet of our time. Oh, God. I am joking. Like, this is either an absolute shit show or someone just decided to see what would happen if they let their schizophrenic ramblings have a voice on their page. It could go either way. And Cosmic, this seems too coherent for a shitpost. No, it seems too coherent for an average shitposter. This is more like someone was writing in their spare time, and it's a shitpost, but also they're insane. It's like the shitpost from someone with schizophrenia. Like, I honestly believe this is next level skit posting. Not shit posting, not schizophrenic posting, it's skit posting. This is looped back around to being comedy.
Isn't how to make a hybrid-themed bomb. After this, we finally reach the preface. God. Highlights include being able to use the hybrid system in many popular RPGs like Yu-Gi-Oh! And something about Galactus being too old. Before we
older than the internet is too old for most people.
The introduction to hybrid, which is of course
please tell me it's the last
black
page.
Text on a dark blue background. Painful, but at least we can start. What's the first thing about the game that we decide to highlight here?
You die?
Nothing. In fact, first we need to go through his reviews of 17 different RPGs and 3 unrelated movies. Honestly, that one's on me. I should have seen that coming. Oh, look, he reviewed The World of Cinnabar. He says that it's got some great reading, but is disappointed that there are almost no equations in it. Core rules? Oh, we've done it! We finally reached the actual game! Okay, nobody panic, calm down. If we get too excited, we might scare the game off. Let's begin with something simple. What is the first chapter that we are using here?
Oh, no.
Theme, setting...
Is it equations? It's random equations you don't have any context for.
Character creation, maybe a
equation?
Class or two?
Nope.
Wrong, chuckle nuts. Hybrid doesn't do chapters. Instead, what we do here is list off every single rule in the game on a numbered list in a random, undetermined order.
Wait. Lifespan, where x is greater than 2 when c2 is less than 20, else x equals 2 when c2 is ls greater than or equal to 20. Is not mutant power because no difference, but 0 difference for Galactus used to generate LS billion years for Galactus, meaning you're reduced to his default LS. Increase the PLS arithmetic operation decreases LS. Either minus or slash was used to reduce LS's lifespan. So I really unironically want to get a ChatGPT read of this. Like, I need to go to this website. I need to go and get ChatGPT and say, hey, summarize this in a coherent format in 30 words or less. If the answer is not, I give up, we will probably considerably hurt Microsoft. And we're doing lag, and we're doing lag.
Each rule being marked by only a number with no table of contents or index. Wow,
oh my God.
Unfathomable. Here's what I mean. Rule 0 is an equation that shows how often the game itself will be updated. Rule 1 showcases the conflict
rate of 1 per month, but version equal year 2010. Was this ever future updated and we just didn't know where they're posted? Like, I fully believe there's updates to this on random thumb drives no one has found yet.
Between order and chaos in the universe. Rule 2 is the equation for a character's martial arts
I love
grade.
this. It's so horrible.
Rule 3
I love this.
is how to distribute points. Rule 4 is how to calculate height based on race, like the Israeli male, the Oriental male, and DC's Lobo. And Rule 5
really likes
is the
Lobo.
equation for weapon damage up to the godly level. Every single rule in the game is conveyed in this manner in the same writing style we have seen before, with little rhyme or reason for the order in which rules are added. Imagine
Yeah. I might, after this video, check out if I can just go to a quick AI chatbot, give them the link, and say, hey, summarize this. I want to see what it does.
if you had to learn something like D&D using a similar structure. It would legitimately be a numbered Google Doc that would go, 1. How often a new book comes out. 2. How to calculate your magic attack stat. 3. The amount of experience you get for winning a fight. 4. How to roll dice.
Unironically, it would probably be easier than some of the books they put out.
5. How much damage a crossbow does. This is not a feasible way to learn.
And again, there's been some books they put out where that is also the case.
We're already here, so we might as well show off the goods. Here are some of the rules that will help you on whatever the heck kind of adventure would end up using all of these. Rule 9, equation for light speed travel. Rule 11, equation for how to compute annual salary. Rule 18, equation for how to clone a person. Rule 22, equation for time travel. Rule 25, mass of an interstellar object. Rule 27, equation.
I fully believe there's an entire conspiracy theory just based on this right now, where someone believes this is actually not a game. Someone is explaining under or trying to convey fundamental forces of reality in a format that no one would realize is real until it's later. And I fully believe this is an actual conspiracy theory about this with no evidence whatsoever, other than the fact that it's the internet and some dumbass will have thought of this and probably made a religion around it.
Equation for how many ghosts can be captured at once. Rule 34, equation for battles between two.
Okay, they just lost points on that one. There is a correct answer to what Rule 34 is, and this is not it.
Souls. Rule 36, equation for determining how much manpower is needed to get a job done. Rule 37,
the use of
equation
soul.
For love. Rule 52, how do you...
No. What was the equation for love right there? I want to see that one. What did they say love was?
Equation for love.
On the right side, this is an example of using the expression star-crossed lovers to figure out the missing unit. You then solve for the missing unit. Desired height. Standard. I should have known. It's all about the height. I should have known. And now it is too late.
Love. Rule 52, how to use time travel by Maxwell's time equation to violate copyright law. Rule 59, equation for determining the height of a woman. Rule 69,
measuring
the elite male human population pattern. Rule
I can't tell if that's a reference or not. I'm not entirely sure I want to find out either.
71, how to use the cloning equation to determine the amount of lives a man can have. Rule 80, quote, the following rule may or may not be accurate, disclaimer. What everyone should know about feminist issues, the male positive perspective. This is the only other functional hyperlink on the site and goes to an article from Backlash about male violence based on the book Women Who Love Men Who Kill. Rule 86, equation for determining.
So basically, it's a book about male yanderes and the women who love them, as opposed to the female yanderes and the men who love them. Yeah, that checks out for this kind of, let's call it creation. This is a shtick posting.
Determining a guy's chances with a woman. Rule 89.
Answer's number
equation
0.
For improving your grade point average. Rule 90. How to travel to Pluto and back on a non-state sponsored personal project. This rule is 4 paragraphs long. Rule 106, how to calculate a woman's power level. Rule 114, how to create a cyborg character like the $6 Million Man. This is the very first mention of how to create a character.
Oh, God. Yeah, this is someone's schizo ramblings. There's no other way around it. But it's also like a shitpost getting it out there. I just don't know which side is more powerful. Is it shitpost? Is it schizo? I'm leaning towards schizo, but at the same time, it has a lot of the shitpost elements. Oh, I so need to get an AI on this.
116. How to destroy an incomplete Death Star. Rule 1.
Just get a bunch of Mon Calamarians to find out where the weakness is. Or sorry, Bothans. Bothans? Bothans. A lot of them will die. But then you'll ignore it all forever. Ooh, and Mel, I'm just going to pull up your comment here. 1, thank you very much. 2, for some reason, it won't let me send the video title, for a video I want to watch, but the first word are Jack Stauber, and it's by Maradia? Oh, actually, I think I've had him recommended a few times.
119. Number of years a U.S. president can be expected to remain in office. Rule 128. Equation for how to clone specifically DC
He really
Lobo.
likes Lobo.
Rule 137. Quote, Godzilla storyline probably does not take place in present timeline within context of the story, but in future timeline, meaning a Godzilla in 1960 Godzilla movie would take place in the year 2300 AD. This confirms that there is supposed to be a storyline somewhere in here. I have no idea where it is.
I don't think the person writing it does either. Also, Wendy, what are we watching now? When I find out, I'll let you know, because right now I have no idea.
Rule 146, damage calculation. It took us until Rule 146 to get to damage calculation. Rule 166, how to create the Decepticons and Autobots from the 80s cartoon series, The Transformers. You've got the touch, you've got the power.
Hey, the movie version, nice. For anyone who doesn't realize, there was an initial movie where that was the song. And it's like so off-putting that it kind of looped around to being exactly the best song for it.
Rule 177, some of his favorite equations from the rules so far. Rule 180, an entirely new nuclear bomb equation from the previous one. Rule 184,
was there a previous
an entirely new salary equation based on which economic system you are working in.
Basically, you make 12 times to 24 times more pay under capitalism. That's not fair. It's always equal to 0 plus nothing.
Rule 193, the definition of a sodomy, which is illegal in the state of Louisiana. Rule 195, a reminder that Rule 196 is X-rated and anyone under the age of 21 should absolutely not read it.
Why?
Rule 196, the equation for determining the size of a dude's junk. Included as it is, quote,
This is someone who looked at Fatal and was like, yeah, that works. Also, according to Valerian, 1, oh, you're still here, dude. Neat. 2, 3D Neuro is so cute. I hope there's clips of that. I want to see what that looks like.
Essential part of character creation process for male characters, and because the arithmetic seems to be accurate. Rule
that is a phrase.
Equation for the effectiveness of the Iraqi nuclear war program. Rule 202, the third new equation we've gotten for determining someone's salary. And Rule 203. 2 new equations, those being number of years of attending college as a full-time student and passing with decent grades, and how many years it will take Iraq to gain nuclear technology. These two are somehow intertwined.
How much shitposting can a man even do? Like, we have gone far past shitposting, or you can call it schizo posting or skits posting. We are reaching diarrhea post levels, man. Like, this person needs to consult with a doctor because it's lasted more than 4 hours.
After this, the website just ends. It's over.
Oh, thank God.
Here. That is everything that Hybrid has on offer. You now know everything there is to know about this game, so I offer you a challenge. Can you give me a 1-sentence synopsis on what this game is? Here,
shitpost. It is a shitpost. It is utter shitpost. I'll get it
started for you. Hybrid is the 1966 RPG where all you gotta do is finish the sentence. I need you to do it
sorry.
Because I sure can't. Others seem to share this sentiment, as when I look online to see reviews, none of them are able to go more than a few sentences long in trying to explain their thoughts.
Yes.
This is probably because after having to bear the full brunt of the page, they now hold nothing but utter contempt for the entire English language.
Yeah.
Even worse, when I looked around online again, I found out that the game had been updated from version 0.3 to version version 0.21. What's that? That's going backwards.
Oh
Buddy,
my
are you
God.
still holding on to rational thought? My version was from 2002. This version is from 2007.
Oh God, it's still being worked on.
It now contains 551 rules listed even more confusingly, as now you have a list of the new rules going down the page until you get halfway down, and then parts of the old website will be randomly added in with no regard to paragraph structure, so the first rule on the page is Rule 551, and the last rule on the page is Rule 312. The newer rules are also significantly longer now too, due to them also devolving into offshoot rants like all the other parts of the site.
And yet all of the hyperlinks are not actually hyperlinks. They're just highlighted and underscored in blue.
Heck, Rule 551 isn't even a rule. It's just a rant about U.S. involvement in the Middle East. My guy, I'm trying to play as Optimus Prime. Other new oddities include a disclaimer that the original hybrid brownie cake recipe did not work correctly and you should...
Really? The one thing they needed to do. Make a decent cake recipe, and they couldn't do that? It should start with buy it somewhere else. I've been told those are the best cakes I ever make. The ones I don't make. And the ones I do should be treated as war crimes. There's a reason my wife doesn't let me cook.
Just use the one on the back of the box. Rule 525, which states, number of useful rules in my RPG will be number of rules divided by GPA.
So 0.
My total number of useful rules comes out to 151. That is very generous. And a couple of different segments on how to port the game's engine into, of all things,
GURPS.
Effing Fatal. You may think this entire thing is a joke, and I don't blame you. I also thought it was a joke once. But it's too real.
Doesn't he?
This has been getting updated for decades. The mathematics are too complex, the lingo is too fleshed out, and the prose is too downright insane to...
No, there's... When most people think there's schizophrenia, that doesn't mean you become stupid. People can be incredibly smart and have schizophrenia. That is an actual very common mistake. My wife just shouted in the other room, beautiful mind. That is an example of it. You can be a genius and have schizophrenia. It's just the conclusions you reach do not also have to be tethered to reality. So you can have a lot of issues that way. And I'm hitting lag again.
Be faked if you...
I think I know why I'm having Comcast issues today. If you understand what I mean, it's because you've seen the multiple cuts where I just have to stop because my internet decides to die. I blame this as a memetic virus. Am I even having this in my existence? Has retroactively affected my connection to the internet. You can't prove I'm wrong at this point because neither can I.
Told a legitimately sane person to write in the same way that this is written, they couldn't do it. Not this consistently, not for this long. They'd crack under the weight of their sins. This is by far the worst tabletop RPG of all time. Fatal and that game have worse contents and themes, yes, that is understood. But this is completely incomprehensible.
I would still say this would be the number 2, where Fatal is horrible. This game is ridiculous and stupid. You should never. And then the other one is deserving to be punched in the face.
I legitimately, for the life of me, cannot begin to understand what I am looking at here on even a basic level. It is to my belief that if...
I think it's awesome that he brought up Wesley Snipes there from Blade, because it shows you that both this game's creator and him have something in common. They didn't understand basic concepts. In this creator's case, it was because he didn't understand the basic concept of making rational sense. In Wesley Snipes' case, it was paying taxes.
You tried to legitimately set up and play this game, you would straight up die. If you doubt even one single claim that I am making about this
I believe
game,
everything you said.
I have both the 2002 and the 2007 versions linked below.
They updated the backgrounds. I just noticed that.
Take 15 minutes to try to read and comprehend any of what's going on
I'm
here,
doing it. I'm going to pull up a chatbot. I'm going to ask it to tell me what's going on.
I recommend the 2002
Oh,
version
I need to see this.
If you look through 2007s and get hit with the quote, so this, that the American public is gullible and they will believe anything that any authority figure will tell them, is what DC and Marvel have been trying to tell its readers for
Marvel
the past
Universe.
half a century. You will probably end up like that lady in the 4th Indiana Jones. And that
I
is
never
all
saw
for
that.
the worst tabletop RPGs. So while I go off and get a psychiatric evaluation, let me know below if I am missing any other horrific material that I could add to the pile that is my now smoldering brainstem. Don't limit yourself to just the TTRPGs either. Think of any board or card games you think will finally break me. At this point, I might as well shoot for the mental damage high score. Signing off for Fear of the Unknowable and Incomprehensible, I am KamSandwich. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day.
You poor bastard.
A special thank
unironically, that is legitimately the most insane thing I've seen. Like, that game, it's funny because of how bad it is. And you can tell how bad it is. And you don't worry about it being horrible. It is horrible. I would probably have put it second. And I stand by that because the other one is just worse. One deserves psychiatric help because they're maybe not so far gone that they can't get it, but they're probably that far gone. And the other one, it made a pointy hat game and deserves being punched in the face. Yeah, just do it. Just pull a Captain America and punch a Nazi in the face. Either way, you guys know the deal. There's a link below to the original video. Hit it up. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.